Advisory. Distinguished is not intended for all audiences. The following stories are true and may contain details that some find disturbing. Listener and viewer discretion is advised. Next on Distinguished, we honor the legacy of Gary Michael Rose. Gary Michael Rose was born October 17, 1947 in Watertown, New York. His family later moved to Southern California, and in 1965 he graduated from the James Monroe High School in Northridge. On April 4, 1967, Rose voluntarily enlisted in the United States Army. He deployed to Thailand as a Special Forces medic in April 1969 and in April 1970, volunteered for Vietnam service. He was wounded on his first mission in June 1970 and received his first Bronze Star Medal with V for combat heroism and Purple Heart. Between September 11 and 14 of 1970, Rose's company was continuously engaged by a well-armed and numerically superior hostile force deep in enemy-controlled territory. On September 11, Rose and his group were brought in by helicopter to create a diversion that would relieve some of the pressure on the troops under fire. Enemy B-40 rockets and mortar rounds rained down while the adversary sprayed the area with small arms and machine gun fire, wounding many and forcing everyone to seek cover. A soldier had been shot and found himself stranded beyond the defensive perimeter. Without hesitation, Rose dashed a distance of 55 yards through a relentless barrage of bullets, simultaneously returning fire. Upon reaching the wounded soldier, he positioned himself as a shield, safeguarding the casualty from additional harm while administering vital medical care. Having successfully stabilized the injured soldier, Rose then courageously carried him through the perilous battlefield, which was rife with gunfire, to a secure location. Throughout this harrowing journey, he continued to protect and treat the wounded man, all the while maintaining suppressive fire with his weapon. Amidst the increasing number of casualties, Rose actively assisted in excavating foxholes to provide cover for the wounded. Throughout this process, he tirelessly attended to their injuries, displaying courage as he repeatedly braved intense enemy fire. Rose fearlessly moved from one wounded soldier to another, delivering crucial and life-saving medical aid, all while exposing himself to the relentless barrage of gunfire. During the second day of the operation, an enemy rocket-propelled grenade detonated dangerously close to the command post, mere yards from Rose. The explosion sent him tumbling to the ground, causing injuries to his head, hand, and foot. However, he quickly got back on his feet and persisted in providing assistance to the other injured soldiers, prioritizing their well-being despite the personal toll on his own health. By the third day of the operation, Rose and his comrades had successfully dismantled an enemy base camp, but they found themselves encircled by a formidable force of 500 North Vietnamese soldiers. As their wounded numbers grew, the need for evacuation became imperative. They urgently called for a medevac helicopter. Rose played a pivotal role in this critical moment, assisting in the preparation of bamboo litters for the severely wounded and carrying them to the waiting helicopter. He demonstrated extraordinary bravery by repeatedly exposing himself to enemy fire as he tried to lift wounded soldiers up to the hovering aircraft, which couldn't land due to the challenging terrain. The intensity of the enemy fire escalated to such a degree that the pilot had no choice but to abort the mission, and the helicopter ultimately crashed a few miles away due to the sustained enemy fire encountered during the ill-fated extraction attempt. On the fourth day, September 14th, the situation had grown increasingly dire with dwindling food and ammunition and intensifying enemy mortar fire. Extraction helicopters were urgently called in to evacuate the beleaguered team. Even amid the relentless mortar attacks, Sergeant Rose displayed incredible courage. He returned to the outer perimeter under enemy fire, carrying wounded comrades and ensuring their relocation to safer positions in preparation for evacuation. After completing this heroic mission, he re-entered the perimeter to join in the defense against the enemy's assault. It wasn't until later that he boarded the extraction helicopter. However, as the helicopter began to lift off, a Marine door gunner was shot through the neck. Rose immediately administered critical medical treatment to the wounded Marine while on board the helicopter. Through his efforts, he miraculously saved the Marine's life. Following the intense rescue efforts, the helicopter carrying Sergeant Rose and the wounded Marine was struck by enemy fire, causing it to crash near a riverbank, approximately 100 yards from the intended evacuation point. This unfortunate crash resulted in further injuries to Rose and the personnel on board. Remarkably, Rose and the wounded Marine were thrown clear of the wreckage. Despite enduring numerous wounds over the past 3 days, Rose summoned the strength to crawl back to the burning wreckage, where he continued to heroically pull and carry unconscious and wounded comrades to safety. Another extraction helicopter soon arrived on the scene. Rose and the other men were loaded onto this helicopter, which carried them back to their base, ensuring their safety and medical attention. Rose's selfless actions and dedication are credited with saving the lives of an impressive U.S. Army in May 1987. On October 23, 2017, Gary Michael Rose was presented with the Medal of Honor by President Donald J. Trump at the White House. This prestigious ceremony recognized Rose's exceptional bravery and selfless actions during Operation Tailwind in Laos in September 1970. President Trump, on behalf of the United States, honored Rose for his extraordinary service and sacrifice in the presence of his family, fellow veterans, and the nation. Other than the Medal of Honor, Rose's military awards include the Distinguished Service Cross, the Bronze Star Medal with 1 oak leaf cluster and V device, the Purple Heart with 2 oak leaf clusters, the Meritorious Service Medal, the Air Medal, the Army Achievement Medal, the Good Conduct Medal with 2 knots, National Defense Medal, Vietnam Campaign with Star, Presidential Unit Citation, Vietnam Civic Action Honor Medal, Vietnam Campaign Medal, Vietnamese Cross of Gallantry Unit Citation, with Palm Combat Medical Badge, Special Forces Tab, U.S. Army Parachute Badge, Thai Army Parachute Badge, Vietnam Parachute Badge, and several service ribbons. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the stories and lives of military heroes. We hope you've been inspired and moved by their courage and sacrifice. We can't do this without your support. If you've enjoyed this podcast, we kindly ask that you continue to support us by spreading the word. Leaving a positive rating and review on your favorite podcast platform will help others discover these remarkable stories. Don't forget to like and share our episodes on social media. Your personal recommendation can make a significant impact. By sharing these stories, you play a vital role in honoring the bravery of our military heroes and ensuring their legacies live on. Together, let's continue to shine a light on the incredible men and women who have served and protected our nation.